Hello, and welcome to the first official episode of the Tumble Through podcast.
Woohoo! Woo! Tumble through! Let's go!
Tumble through! Tumble through!
Let's counsel some thieves.
We'll definitely be doing that. I am the game master for this Council of Thieves adventure path converted for Pathfinder 2E. Krifu Bernal, my pronouns are he, him. Are we doing physical descriptions? I am a pink-skinned white.
I'm a pink-skinned.
I was not ready for that.
It makes the rest of us. That's what the Andorians always say. Pink skin, pink skin.
Cisgender male with a dark brown hair and goatee. Today I'm wearing glasses, but I don't always wear my glasses. And I'm very excited to be here. We've been working on this we've been practicing for like 6 months, and it's awesome to finally get to this point with these wonderful, wonderful people. So let's go ahead and meet them. We're going to do this popcorn style. So I'm going to pick someone, and they're going to introduce themselves, and they have to pick someone. So I'm going to start with Aida.
Pop! Hi, my name is Aida. My pronouns are she and her. I'm a queer Latina woman. I have tan skin, dark eyes, dark hair. I'm an immigrant in the Netherlands, and I am very proud of myself for having come this far and feeling somewhat comfortable with Pathfinder 2E after many years of D&D 5e. And I also want to thank everyone for making that journey comfortable and safe as I got to learn. So, yay!
Popcorn.
Popcorn, Evan.
Oh, kia ora. I'm Evan, aka Māori Nerd. I am from Aotearoa, New Zealand. I'm Māori, and I've got tanned. I'm dark skinned. What you'd probably call me surly? No, you can't use that word. Can you use surly? Curly.
You have curly hair.
No, sort of dark skinned, dark hair.
Swarthy is the word.
Swarthy. That's what
Like
I was
a
aiming
pirate?
for. I would take that. I would happily be a pirate. My pronouns are he, him. I'm also an immigrant, or I want to say like a reverse colonist. And I have come from New Zealand back to the UK. I'm taking it back. That's what I'm doing. I'm taking it back. Happy to be here. Pop, Marcus.
Well, hello there. My name's Marcus. Pronouns are he, him. I'm also a very pink-skinned white male with beard and dark hair, wearing glasses, and I'm very excited for this little foray into podcasting Pathfinder, a game that's very dear to me, and with a bunch of very fantastic people. So yeah, popping it over to Anna.
Hi, I'm Anna. I use it in pronouns. I am a white, non-binary person with brown, curly, sometimes wavy, depending on the day, mullet. And one part of my fringe is blonde, and one part of the other hair is also blonde. Did I say I have glasses yet? I have round glasses. And yeah, I'm really excited to play this. Everyone's doing where they're from. I'm from the Netherlands. Then popping over to Pan.
Hi, I'm Pan. Pronouns he, they, she. I am a black AMAB person. I wear glasses. My hair changes regularly. I'm wearing a shirt with bugs on it, which I'm quite fond of. I'm from the UK via way of Canada and Jamaica, and I'm also looking very forward to playing this game, which I've come to really enjoy. I come from a D&D standpoint, but I've come to really enjoy Pathfinder with the help of these fabulous people too. So I'm looking forward to getting into it.
Group hug.
Oh, group hug.
Don't touch me. Don't touch me.
With consent.
I think I'm the only one who didn't mention where they're from. I'm German American, currently based in Germany. having moved back from the States a couple of years ago, and it's been an awesome journey exploring the actual play scene on this side of the pond and getting to know these wonderful people. So one really cool thing about this group is that we're spread across 3 different European countries with a lot of different international backgrounds in a way that I think really does represent, strangely enough, like the diverse spectrum that Golarion and Pathfinder sort of has to offer in its fantasy setting. Shout out to Paizo and its union. Before we jump into this adventure, let's start with a little cutscene to launch our Council of Thieves campaign, Twilight's Edge.
The Dravanche Shame. The Dravanche family has long stood as the cornerstone of the major noble houses of Westcrown. A conservative clan of moneylenders and property owners, they have weathered the storms of the last century under the iron rule of their patriarch, Vicindio Dravanche. But all was not well within the Dravanche Veneo. Vicindio's son, Sidonai, driven by arrogance and ambition, threatened the family's very legacy.
A girl? You gave birth to a weak and useless girl? I wanted a son, a true heir.
Her name is Shamadi. She's our daughter, Sidney, but she's just the beginning.
How do you mean?
We need more. Power beyond measure.
You're right. And I think I know exactly where to find it.
Desperate for a son with infernal power, Sidonai and Nikla sought the aid of the Flies, a coven of hags living in the woods near Westcrown.
You seek a son with a divine mandate, nobleman?
Yes. One who will be respected and feared.
We are prepared to pay any price.
We can grant your wish.
Swallow this coin and your desire shall be fulfilled.
Sidonai did as he was told, not realizing the coin would allow the archdevil Mammon, Lord of the Third, to possess him. The Flies, however, knew exactly what they were doing. 9 months passed. When the child was finally born, the truth was evident.
He has horns! And golden skin!
Our perfect son.
What have we done?
You have brought shame upon us all!
Father, it's not what it seems.
What are you talking about, Sidney? You wanted this as well.
Well, I didn't think it'd come out looking like this.
With Arcadian's infernal power, House Dravanche will assure our continued control of the Council of Thieves. He is destined to one day even rule the city of Westcrown.
But Vicindio was beyond reason.
Witch! You will pay for this!
Father, no!
Vicindio, don't do this!
By the end of the night, Vicindio's men had killed all involved in this diabolic affair, even sweeping through the woods in search of the hags. Only the Mother of Flies was able to hide herself away successfully.
I will avenge you, my sisters. House Dravanche will pay for this.
Vicindio, unable to father more children, turned to his son's offspring. Despite the baby being hellspawn, he was now the only male heir. Vicindio mourned the cruel fate of his family, but he chose to raise his grandchildren, Shamadi and Icardian. Shamadi and Icardian grew up in the shadow of their grandfather's stern rule, bonded by their shared struggle and longing for a different future.
One day, Icardian, we will be free of him. I'll kill him for the way he treats us.
One day, sister. One day we'll make sure this whole city pays for what we've had to endure.
And so, the seeds of the future were sown in the dark soil of the Dravanche shame.
It is a baking hot summer's day in late Eridus, in the city of Westcrown, on the southern coast of the nation of Cheliax. Westcrown, this once shining jewel, the ex-capital of Cheliax, is adorned with statues and images, murals, and whatnot of the fallen god Eridan, who over 100 years ago died or disappeared, causing the world, and Cheliax in particular, to fall into chaos. Now, Westcrown is a place where the leftovers of Chelaxian society come to rest. And we start our adventure today in the late afternoon sun at a bar called Vizio's Tavern. Walking into the bar, we can see two people parking their food cart outside before walking in. One of them is a human man with green hair and an olive skin tone. And the other one is an orc. So, Evan, can you describe to us what Nico looks like?
Yeah, hi. So Nico is a rainfall orc. And forgot how tall he was. He was quite tall. I think he was like 6'5", because I did it off that viral song. He's quite lean. He's got a little lower tusks. He's got a braided mohawk tied back. And he's got a cloak of what looks to be like strips of material and feathers all entwined over his shoulders. He's got studded leather armor, but the armor itself, the studs look like globs of molten ore, different types of ore, which have been sewn into the leather. So there's a variety of like metallic hues going on his studded leather. He does push a cart. It's like a barrow, but it seems to be like a utility vehicle almost. It's got poles on it, material. There's cookware across it. There's spoons, pots, pans, and there's little baskets like you would find on a sail ship, like net baskets with fruit hanging across the bits of wood. And he's walking confidently. One of the most outstanding things that you notice about him, that he's also got what seems to be a mushroom person sat on his shoulder, who's got a little upturned, quite a wide-brimmed upturned cap with little frills, little skinny arms and legs, and seems quite content to be sat up on Nico's shoulder. Looks like they've seen some action. There's a bit of blood on him, and
fresh blood,
but he seems content and happy within himself as he strides into Vizio's Tavern with his friend. Oh, hey, did I say it was my round? It was my round, didn't I? Yeah. Let me get you this.
Actually, Viti, the green-haired man, says, I think I owe you. I mean, you really showed those goblins what's what.
Oh, do you know what? Viti, yeah, I showed them, but they're dead now, and I'm sorry you had to see that. It's not something that I like to do.
Hey, you saved those leshies, and that's good enough for me. And as Viti opens the door and the two of you stride in, you can see that it's quite full, and a lot of people trying to get out of the summer heat. And as you walk in, several of the people in this bar sort of look up and go, "Oh, hey, Nico!"
Oh, hey, everyone. Okay, I'll let you get the drinks this time. This time, I'll get them next time.
The camera pans across the bar, and it stops on two different sets of people who are already here. In a corner, we see... Well, Anna, why don't you tell us what Lowen looks like?
Right. Lowen is a hellspawn Nephilim. He's about 5'11". He's got dark blue skin, long, wavy white hair, completely black eyes. He's got a tail and like horns that sort of curl back. It's quite a slender build. He wears a simple white like button-up blouse, of which he's got the sleeves rolled up. He wears just simple black trousers, suspenders, and black boots. Sort of leans on his arms, and as he does that, you can see that on the bottom of his forearms there's like scales. And yeah, he's got a bunch of facial piercings and like industrials and stuff like that. But yeah, he sort of leans on very, table, very relaxed. Seems to not really be bothered with any of the commotion around him.
Well, because he's already in conversation with another person sitting there. Zyvan is it's hard to necessarily tell. He's very pale, which could make him Tlaxian, but it also could make him Nidalese from the shadow-covered neighboring lands of this nation, with sort of pitch dark hair, very straight back, like chin up, this sort of austere and noble bearing that here in the Rego Scripa isn't necessarily out of place. The Rego Scripa, but the Rego Scripa is really new money, and he's looking like old money. I assume he's probably wearing robes?
Probably.
Shrugging, question mark?
Something fancy.
Like business robes. And the camera pans over to the bar where we see two smaller sized folk. A gnomish woman with a sort of tawny skin tone, dark black hair, that it's like super short, just almost like above her ears, almost like a bowl cut coming down. She's got like tattoos everywhere. It looks really rough and tumble, which is odd considering she's sitting next to someone wearing the City Watch uniform of the Tatari. Pan, can you describe Flint for us?
I can. Flint is a bronze dragon-scaled kobold. Physically, he's surprisingly muscular for a kobold. It's like when you get too close to a crocodile, and you notice that they are just like muscle under scales. His scales, speaking of which, are like a ruddy bronze and flecked with scars and grazes, most notable of which is a cross-shaped one on the top of his muzzle, a reminder to not push his luck from his younger days. The bronze of his scales does darken at the extremities of his hands and his tail, and his knuckles are actually taped up, so despite being in the Tatara uniform, which is effectively the police, the guard, the watch, he looks a bit of a brawler. He's wearing a slightly modified tattered half cape on his shoulder, which signifies his rank as a corporal. Like most of his kin, his eyes are pale amber and they're flecked with green, and he has tape as well, similarly around his ankles too. His general look seems kind of stern, but he's also surprisingly well kept in places. His horns obviously once very well groomed with carvings and such, have been left to overgrow, and the ends have been replaced with these two black metal tips. And he is looking suave.
The gnomish woman, Jakopulio. What a name. She's like tapping her fingers on the bar and sort of like, I don't know how you're fucking keeping your cool. I'd be freaking out right now. Fiosa! And just sort of like shouts down the bar towards a halfling woman who is behind the counter and is busy with other customers. This halfling woman's wearing a sort of like yellow floral dress, has like light brown hair that like curves at the end above her shoulders, and she sort of looks up and she's like, "Hold on, Yako, please." Yako turns to you. "I'm sorry, I just... we gotta help your sister."
I know, Yako, and I appreciate it, really, I do. But harassing the barmaid isn't going to get us anywhere. Just take a breath. Besides, I'm formulating.
"Oh no, Fiosa and I go back. She's doing this on purpose, I know it." And sort of like scowls at the halfling woman.
I give her Fiosa a look and a wink, and I say, "Well, it's nice to have long-term friends who give you a little bit of slack. That's like me and my sister, which is why we gotta be cool, calm, sort us out, find her." And whilst he is saying that, although like his features, his face is more so than the usual kobold, a little almost like shark-like because of the muscle. And he's putting on a cool front, but you can tell his tail under the table is lashing about. Despite his words, he's obviously concerned.
From the bar, we pivot back to the shady corner where the housebond Lowen is sitting with his business colleague. The two are sitting there in a calm silence for a moment before Zyvan surreptitiously looks around. "So, how did it go last night?"
Quite well. I got what you wanted. And, they'll like look around and like pull out from their own backpack, pull like a smaller bag, sort of just put it on the table.
A pouch.
Yes.
Which, if anyone were looking closely, they might see the hint of magic runes indicating this as a spacious pouch. Zyvan just slides it over and into the sleeves of his robe. "Perfect."
You're not even looking inside.
"Oh, Lowen, we go so far back. I trust you to keep your word. Besides, if I were to be disappointed upon later opening this, I know exactly where to find you."
I suppose, but still, I expected different. I suppose that leaves my payment, both of them, monetary and the other one.
He nods, and from the same wizard sleeve, he like reaches in, and almost as if a magician like pulling something from thin air. I guess I shouldn't say almost as if, it's literally magic.
Yeah.
Pulls out a smaller coin purse and slides that over to you.
Lowen takes it and he does look inside, if only to make a point. And he like looks at it and he takes it and pockets it. And the other part, the updates.
He thinks for a moment. Some news from House Calarix, our patron house, as you know. He's referring to his house, House Nimis.
Mm-hmm.
It seems that as Matriarch Julana doesn't really have anyone left in her family to pass the lineage on down to, and he really smirks as he says this and as he's looking at you. It seems she is seeking a husband.
Fascinating.
She's not so old as to not be able to produce an heir. And Suffice to say, I don't feel like she's interested in passing on her responsibilities to me anytime soon.
Oh, I'm sure you're real disappointed by that. Interesting. I pity the poor child that will be born in that house. Thank you. This is useful.
You're not jealous at all?
Jealous? Why would I be jealous?
So much power and control, just...
I never cared about any of that. After all, I wasn't born into the family, into the house. I was only ever a puppet. I don't care about any of that. I don't want the power.
Well, you were a fine puppet.
It's good to see that you take that role now. From the sounds of it.
I don't mind having my strings pulled, as long as I get to pull some in return.
I know that. All too well. Well, when do we meet again?
I'll have a job for you soon, but first, business is done.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me a little bit about what's going on with you these days. And the camera begins to pan away again. Back to the sort of the main floor where most of the people that shouted when Nico walked in are seated. Him and VT have found a small table where they can sit and have ordered some. VT's ordered a round of ales.
Yeah, ales. Let's get some ales.
VT scratches his green hair, his green head. Nico, well, how long have you actually been in Westcrown?
Oh, just like sort of like kind of like patching up with his sort of like healer's kit at the same time, talking. Just a couple of years we've been here.
And what made you decide to leave Mwangi?
Well, I like. It's hard to explain, but maybe you know. I don't.
I grew up in a small ranch just outside of Westcrown, so I've been here a couple years too, but we always visited as a kid, and I don't know, I haven't been any further away than a couple miles outside of the city.
There's not a lot going on in the jungle, and I just wanted to branch out. I wanted to experience different cultures. Food is a big thing for me, and the way that different cultures express their culture through food is important. And to understand other people is to try their food and learn about their food, because it comes from the land, it comes from the fauna, the flora, and it's deeply embedded in who they are. So if you want to know someone, learn what they like to eat, learn what's important to them and their communities. And I'd done that in Mwangi, in the Matangi hold. I'd done that. I'd experienced all of that, and I needed to know more. So I branched out. No pun intended.
Viti leans forward, puts his elbow on the table and his chin on his fist, and is sort of just like getting lost in your eyes as you speak. Wow, it sounds like you've been in a lot of different places.
Oh yeah, we've been all over,
says Fugo.
yeah, we have, Fugo. We've been lots of places. We've been through jungles, deserts. We've been on the high seas, and we pretty much got washed up in Westcrown.
I'm sorry, but I'm also glad that you landed here.
Oh, yeah. Me too, actually. And sort of like meets Viti's gaze, and notices that the way they're looking back at them, and then turns away and carries on like tending his wounds that he got on that fight. Hey, so have you heard anything about this White Chin?
Oh no, that's the first I ever heard of a goblin king in Westcrown. There's all sorts of weird folks in Rego Cater, but I thought goblins mostly lived in the sewers.
Yeah, well, it seems like they're not happy down there anymore, and they want to branch out.
I guess I don't blame them. But actually, you'd be surprised. The sewers are pretty clean.
Oh, I would be surprised, actually.
And then Viti sort of, realizes that maybe he shouldn't have said that. And...
Hey, I'm not judging, wherever nature takes place, I'm no judgment.
Yeah, I mean, they're really well constructed, and so there's not a lot of maintenance and upkeep that happens down there, but you don't want to know how it stays clean.
Yeah, I didn't realize we'd be talking about sewer maintenance.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
On our first, on having a drink together, but hey.
Yeah, and he picks up his ale and raises it to our first having a drink together.
Bro, to our first having a drink together.
And the ale mugs clink, and there's a little splash of ale.
There's little hearts floating over their heads.
Yeah. As the camera sort of zooms behind the bar to a closed door, and through that door into a meeting room in the back. Here, in this windowless space, this office space, we can see 3 people. A human woman with really well-maintained black eyebrows and short, wavy black hair. She's wearing black leather armor with her sort of midriff exposed. And she's standing as she's pouring, I think, placing glasses onto the table with a big carafe of water. And across from her are seated 2 orcs. Marcus, can you describe what Zekun looks like?
Seated across from the woman is Zekun, a middle-aged, relatively tall orc. His skin is pale as ash, and there are dark freckles over his nose, alongside a few scars from a war-covered life that is now in his past. His hair is black with a few white streaks, and he keeps it in a tight bun at the back of his head. Though his scars might be rough, the rest of his facial features are rather soft and warm. He actually has a comfortable smile on his face right now, as he's gratefully taking the glass of water that is being offered, and he briefly brushes over his fairly colorful clothing, a bright cloak that he wears, and other colored items on his body. He's just looking at the woman and says, "Thank you very much. Are you sure we need to be here in this back room when we have a perfectly good bar in the front?"
What we are here to discuss is not necessarily things I would want my public customers to overhear on accident or on purpose, which can happen. First, I want to thank you both, Zekun and Ravaja especially, she turns to the orcish woman, for meeting me here today. Marcus, can you describe Ravaja for us as well?
Ravaja is a broad-shouldered female orc who is about the same age as Zekun, also clearly has lived a life of physical exertion and has seen her fair share of combat. Short-cut hair, very functional clothing most of the time, and a real no-nonsense attitude. She wants to cut to the chase, don't talk around things, and, well, she can sometimes maybe get a little impatient with the Zekun, how he just keeps talking and doesn't get to the actual point of things.
Ravaja says, "Yeah, you've been wanting to meet with me for a while now. Figured it was about time." Yes, Genevan says, "Ever since the Belgson orcs refurbished the Pleiatra and moved into Westcrown several years ago, I've noticed that the transition has not been easy for them. I want to extend a friendly hand as neighbors, perhaps, or maybe even friends.
A friendly hand that is extended in the shadow of a back room. Pardon me, but I smell something clandestine about this.
She puts her hands on the table and shuts her eyes for a moment. I have lived in Westcrown my whole life, and although I love this city, I must admit, as you might admit it as well, that despite our peace and prosperity, we continue to suffer. Fear should not be an expected part of life, no?
You see Zekun taking that in for a moment, nodding, and he's actually recalling his first impressions of Westcrown. He hasn't been in the city for too long, but with the way that Genevieve describes it, it resonates with his first impressions. And after taking a sip from the drink that was offered, he looks over at Ravaja, kind of gauging her response, kind of gauging her stance in this as an indication of how well can we trust Genevieve.
Ravaja is definitely letting Zekun do his talking thing.
He clocks that. He turns back to Genevieve. Very well then. Let's talk in these shadows. And maybe the smell of subterfuge fades at the end of our conversation.
Shadows is precisely what I wish to discuss. Every night, our city suffers from this damned curse. These beasts of the darkness that come out and stalk our citizens. Other cities don't have to live like this. They don't fear the night. Other governments, she clears her throat, do not cede the streets to monsters of infernal shadows. I would like to extend to you and the orcs of the Piliatra to form a coalition, a group of concerned citizens. Westcrown is made up of mothers and fathers, just like the Piliatra is, of siblings, of lovers, of teachers, of protectors, people who deserve classical Wizcrani support. And with a dedicated group, we could together earn the trust and admiration of the people of Westcrown and perhaps begin to work towards freeing Westcrown from these shadowy beasts that stalk our streets.
As she mentions all these mentions of siblings, family, protectors, and teachers and the likes, Zekun is listening, but he's also thinking back of all of the siblings, protectors, and teachers he has had and has lost to certain circumstances in the past. His mind wanders for a moment before he catches himself to pay attention again to Genevieve and says, and this would also help us, the Belkson, to find our place here, make it a safe home for all of us.
She nods. Yes, and perhaps even bring us one step closer to a Westcrown free of the devil that is the thrice damned House of Thrune. And at that, Ravaja makes a fist on the table. I'm sorry, Genevieve, but the hold of Belkson is allied with House Thrune. Are you suggesting? No, Genevieve says. I am merely stating that our current government representatives do not have Westcrown's best interests in mind. As she's I'm not even going to make you roll perception. She's quickly retreating from that line of thought that she was prepared to go down.
Zekun doesn't interfere with Ravaj's outburst. He understands where it comes from, but he guides the conversation back and says, "Sounds like quite the challenge, fighting actual shadows in the night. I feel like we have to discuss some further details of this operation. And I want to make one thing clear, Genevan. Ravaja trusts you. That means I trust you. But if at any point in this operation I get the sense that this will end badly for my people, we're going to have a different conversation."
You have my word. Under starry skies.
Skies as I prefer them. And Zekun raises his glass, takes a big sip, and just leans back in his chair.
The camera zooms back out of this office and once more to the bar where the kobold Flint and gnomish woman Jacopulio are sitting. Finally, the halfling woman in the floral dress, Fiosa, comes over. "Okay, Jaco, what is it? What can I..." And she looks up at the door, at which point, coming in presumably a rush. Ida, can you describe Sombra for us?
The door absolutely slams open and immediately slams shut, and you see a figure turn around and look out the window. If there are any curtains in this bar, or shutters, they are immediately closed and drawn. She turns back around and glares at everyone in the room.
I mean, people are definitely looking anyway as you've just slammed in here.
And you see, glaring back at everyone in the room, is a fetchling, a Kayal woman, a femme-presenting person. Tall, 5'10", lithe, so slender, muscular build, but not bulky. In dark linen clothing, tied not to hamper her movement, but also to keep sort of fitted. Ashen skin, ombre, black, gray, white hair in the side undercut. Bandaged arms and fists. And pupilless eyes glowing orange, yellow. As she is stirring around her head. And do I clock Fiosa?
She immediately, as she sees you, would is locking eyes with you and this look of concern.
And I stomp over to the bar where Fiosa. Tell me what you know.
Sombra, what happened? Is everything...
Keep your voice down.
And Flint and Jacopulio are right there. So you see this guardsman sitting here as well.
I clock the guardsman, I scowl, and I sort of start pointing over to a corner of the bar, and I'm more or less telling Fiosa, come over to this side.
As Fiosa nods, Jacopulio is wait, Fiosa! I need to see Genevan, come on!
I turn and glare at whoever's opening their mouth.
It's the gnomish woman with the short black hair.
Excuse me, I have business with Fiosa.
Yeah, sister, I can glare too.
And I just don't respond, then I start... If I have to, I'll jump over this bar and put Fiosa into a corner.
What the... Fiosa is okay, come on. And she brings you over to the corner in front of that door to the back office. Sombra, is everything okay?
Who was Ariel? Don't tell me he was just some priest. Who was he?
What do you mean was? Is Ariel safe?
No.
Is he alive?
He better be. Who was he? Why would he be taken? What was he looking into?
Are you leaning down
to
talk to him?
I'm leaning down and I'm growling this quietly, but I'm getting a bit impatient and...
definitely people are still looking because of the... I'd like to ask Flint, Lowen, and Nico,
By all means.
you all saw this fetchling person come in here. What are you thinking? How are you reacting?
I think Lowen's definitely sort of like leaned back in his chair to look at what's happening, and is I think just sort of ignoring Zyvan for a moment. He's just sort of tracking where this person is going to. Just intrigued, not really doing anything, just like keeping an eye and listening, trying to listen if that's possible from a distance.
So Nico has clocked this and is intrigued by this amazing entrance, and also kind of like, although concentrating on first drinks with Vidi, is like, hey Fugo, why don't you get closer to that and have a little listen?
Fugo sort of like hops up on their spindly little mushroom legs
Alright, sounds like a plan.
and just like jumps down on your lap and then down against one more to the floor and begins like scurrying off through the crowd towards.
So just for GM, Fugo's abilities for today are speech and spell delivery.
Abilities also include cream of soup and risotto.
Fugo is heading over there, but you notice VT can't help but like keep like peering over his shoulder with noticed this like worried furrow in his brow as he's looking over to Fiosa and Sombra.
I'll place a hand on his arm. Say, is everything alright? Do you know her? Him?
I'm friends with the bartender, and he just like looks over again.
What? There seems to be a bit of trouble going on. Do you want to go over?
He shakes his head. The camera cuts back to Lowen and Zyvan just says, this place is going downhill ever since it came under new management a few months ago. One can hardly get a drink in peace here. And then the camera cuts back to Sombra and Fiosa. If Ariel's been taken, we need to tell Genevan immediately.
God, what the hell did you get me involved? Are you in danger? Is the whole operation in danger? Are they going after the farm? What the heck did you get me into?
No, this has nothing to do with tilling. I promise.
But something tells me it's worse.
She almost smiles and then like shakes her head.
Give me that face, Fiosa. I swear. There is not enough bacon in this world for you to make this up to me.
Just real quick. And she like turns around and like knocks on the door like a specific like rap. And Zekun, you hear rapping from within. Genevan looks up. Just a moment. She stands.
I look at Genevan as she gets up and quickly throw a glare at Ravaja. Like one of those, what's going on looks at her.
She goes to open the door. We cut back to the bar where Yako and Flint are sitting, and she sees Fiosa opening the door. She's like, oh, hell no, we got here first.
Yeah.
and jumps up and begins dragging you over.
No, Flint's with her. I would say like, hey, we were waiting nicely, and now you're wandering off somewhere. What's going on?
So yeah, the two of you begin like rushing over. As the door opens, Zekun, and maybe if you turn around, you can see this halfling woman standing next to a fetchling woman, and then coming up from behind them are two more smaller people. Genevan, Fiosa like comes in. This is Sombra. Please come in. And no one else notices this little mushroom like also running into the office and finding a shadowy corner to stand in. Fiosa like brings you in and then tries to shut the door, whereas Yako's like big combat boot sort of like stops it. And she pushes in. What the fuck is going on in here? Genevan, we gotta talk. And Genevan looks, Yako, I'm sorry. This isn't the right time. And especially as she sees Flint's uniform, her eyes are like, she's desperately trying not to like freak out.
Would Zekun already Zekun would recognize like a Dotari uniform, right?
Absolutely. The big thing is on the side, is for at least somewhere on the Dotari uniform, it has a eye with wings. That is the Eridan, the symbol of Eridan.
Yeah, the moment he sees that there's a Dotari in uniform here, Zekun gets up and is also gesturing to Ravaja to get up, kind of indicating that something's up here.
I think Flint takes Fioz's arm, like not like hard, but just go, look, we've been waiting for a while. I've been trying to be nice about this, but we need to talk. Whatever you've got going on could do later. This is important.
Sombra is just like darting eyes to the room from everyone, mostly at Fioza, because Sombra knows something big is happening and needs answers, but clearly understands this is a need-to-know basis. I don't know what the cop is wanting. I don't know what this small angry person is. My day is worse, I guarantee you, Sombra is probably thinking. And now we're going to have to bother 2 more people? That's going to be another weird complication. Why the fuck does everyone just calm the fuck down?
Genevan, I'm so sorry, sir, she says to Flint, but if you wouldn't mind waiting, I think this takes priority, and it is a private conversation.
I do mind waiting, and I've already made priority. I don't know what you people are all doing in here, and I don't really care, but I need to speak to you with my friend here. Now, you can come back afterwards. Whatever all this is, he waves his hand at the obvious cloak and dagger bullshit backroom thing going on. Like, not interested. You, me, Yakko, now. And actually, he turns to Sombra, who's obviously like me mugging him, goes, can I help you?
Actually, I'm in the business of selling some lipstick, and I pull out a small tube from one of my pockets. Today's trending color is black. Would you be interested?
Do I look like I need lipstick?
I'm not one to judge.
I don't think kobolds even have lips in this world.
As Yakko sees this, wait. I think we can. This might all converge.
Go on.
Except I don't know about those 2, and she points at the orcs.
At this point, Zekun, as like while standing, picked up his glass and he looks over at Geneva and says, "Told you I smelled something. You're really in the business of a little bit of intrigue, aren't you?"
Geneva nods. Then shut the door. Hurry, please. The door gets shut.
With the Dotari in here?
Do you have a problem with Dotari, sir?
I respect the office.
Not the problems they cause, though. Sombra speaks up.
Listen, this one's not so bad, okay? Yakko says.
The bar is truly in hell.
What I care about for this moment, are they here for the shadows or other subterfuge?
We got a Hell Knight problem.
Oh, we got a Hell Knight problem, right?
And Zekun puts his glass down like, first you talk about the shadows here that you need our help for, and now you're also telling you have a Hell Knight problem, in which you involve a Dotari as well.
I think Sombra's head just completely drops down and her arms go slack.
I think many people in this room require some answers. We need to pull back some of these shadows.
Look, listen, Flint steps forward. My name is Corporal Flint, yes, of the Dotari. However, I am not here as a member of the Dotari. My friend is right. We have a Hell Knight problem. They've become more aggressive recently, and, as standing, have absconded with one of my clutch. Whatever you got going on here, not interested. I'm not going to bring the law down on you, but I need help to get to these Hell Knights.
Who's your clutch?
I think anyone who would like to can roll a culture or Westcrown lore check.
Do you mean society?
Yes. I was playing Starfinder not too long ago.
First rolls!
Alright, first rolls.
Oh, wow.
This will
show him off with that
Let's
plus
go.
0 to the roll from Zekun. That's a total of 13 for Zekun.
Nico, do you want to roll for Fugo?
Yeah.
Got a roll for kobold.
Sombra rolled a natural 20 for a total of 20.
Very nice.
Whoop!
Very nice.
16 for
Okay.
Fugo.
So both Sombra and Fugo know that in reference to this clutch is most likely in reference to the kobolds that manage the Archon's Anthology, a library here in Rego Scripa. Genevan sort of nods. Yes, naturally, the Order of the Rack. I'm not surprised they have issue with a library, a source of knowledge. But what can we do to help you?
I need to find out where they are and how to infiltrate them. If any of you have any beef with the Nile Knights as well, I'm not averse to working together.
And we owe him, Yako says, like jabbing a thumb in your shoulder. That's what I was working on today, trying to get some news on the bastards of Erebus.
And Samra's head flips up. Tell me about these bastards.
Well, seems like the Datari aren't funding them, but they're definitely looking the other way.
They're a new gang, only appeared recently. If they've managed to evade the Run Datari, then it stands to reason they might have some kind of inside influence, but I'm not putting out there that the Datari are in any way involved, simply that they may have something on the inside. All said, if they're a problem for you, they're a problem for me anyway.
Samra puts a hand into another pocket and whips out a crudely carved wooden coin and just smashes it onto the table. Their fucking calling card. And steps back to let anyone who's interested inspect.
Yeah, I'll definitely inspect that. Give it a look.
Zekun, meanwhile, is looking like someone who's been dropped in the middle of season 3 of a crime TV show without knowing what's going on, and is just taking it all in.
Last time on The Wire. Wire Finder.
Fugo probably creeps a bit closer as well and peeks over as well, and then sort of realizes there's big people around and kind of scoots back again.
Genevan takes one glance at the coin and then up at you. Where's Ariel? Where's Morris?
I think we need a round of drinks and some chairs.
Where are they? Now?
They got taken.
By who?
The bastards cornered me and separated us. By the time I finished with the bastards, I saw them getting led away. I don't know what direction they were headed.
Oh, shit. And she, sits down in a chair.
It was asking questions in the wrong part of town to the wrong kind of people.
We go outside, and there's another dramatic entrance.
How dare.
As we see a young male teenager burst in, looking roughed up, kind of not necessarily bruised, but definitely has some dirt on the front of his shirt and maybe on his chin. Black mop of hair and very thin peach fuzz on his upper lip. Lowen, with your eye on the door, you immediately see your ex-assistant, Morris.
Yes. Lowen sees that and sees the state that he's in, and immediately sort of shoots up from his chair and walks over and sort of grabs him by the shoulders, what happened?
You're not the only one who's shot up from their chair, as Viti gets up and immediately goes over and sort of looks at you. Morris, is everything okay? He shakes his head. No, you have to get out of here. The Hell Knights are coming. And that's where we'll end our episode for today.
Fucking Krifu, well woven.
That was good.
It came together. It feels amazing.
Yeah.
That was cool. That was really... Everyone played their part super well.
They're so entwined already. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I was thinking movie style, because it was if this was a movie, there'd be a fight. They'd all fight each other, and then they'd be oh, the Hell Knights are coming.
Yeah. It was
That
almost
was
a fight.
about
It
to
felt like it was.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Tumble Through presents Twilight's Edge, a Pathfinder 2e actual play of the Council of Thieves Adventure Path, converted from Pathfinder 1e. Tumble Through uses trademarks and/or copyrights owned by Paizo Inc., used under Paizo's fan content policy, paizo.com/licenses/fan content. Tumble Through is not published, endorsed, or specifically approved by Paizo. For more information about Paizo Inc. and Paizo products, visit paizo.com.